Hi Diva, I can read. I know that's shocking. I actually read a lot in 2025, so I wanted to share with you the books that I read. I know that nobody's watching this, but if you are the author or the author's family or super fans of any of the books that I rate, don't take it too seriously. I'm just here to have fun. I rate things purely on vibes. I have no rhyme or reason to rate the things the way that I do. If I'm having a good time, the book's gonna probably get a good score. I had a reading goal of 15 books, and I actually surpassed that goal. I read 17. Kinda. I honestly don't know how I did it. At the beginning of the year, I didn't think I would read 5 books, and then at some point I just started reading and no one could stop me. So, yeah. Book 1 of 2025 was Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I have owned these books for years at this point, and I have been trying to read Twilight the entire time that I've owned the series, and finally I was able to fully read the book. I didn't have a great time. I do think that 2.25 is a generous score based on the amount of voice messages that I was sending my friend. I probably sent her a dozen voice messages throughout the entire book. You couldn't get me to shut up about how much I hated this book. If you don't know what Twilight is, it is a romance. It is a love story between 17-year-old Bella Swan and Edward, an 100-plus-year-old vampire. He is like 4 or 5 times her age. I just couldn't overlook that. Honestly, I think the score was bumped up by the fact that I love the movie. Here's some evidence of me having read the book. I don't text my friend a lot. I usually always send voice messages. So this is the only evidence I have of Twilight. This one's my favorite, and I stand by it. Bella chugged 2, going on 3 glasses of Coke, and there is no mention of her producing the most insane burps. Ellipses, unreal, thumbs down emoji, inaccurate, thumbs down emoji, fart noise, thumbs down emoji. So I think I'm a poet, and I can't wait to get my award in the mail. Book number 2, Divergent by Veronica Roth. Divergent is a dystopian series about Tris, a teenage girl. And of course, this teenage girl is special, and she's the only one who can help take down the evil government. She also falls in love along the way. I read this really quickly, and I had a good time reading it. I know that some people don't like Divergent. I just read it at a good time. If I read it at any other time, I don't know if it would have gotten as good of a score. Here's the evidence. This might reveal something about me as a person, but you know what? It's my truth. Book 3, This Could Be Paradise. Book 1 by N.D. Aversion. I read these books for the first time when I was in high school, a freshman in high school, on Wattpad. So that's context. I have reread these books. This was probably the 4th time. It's the combination of nostalgia, location, and the fact that I'm a zombie bitch. I fucking love zombies, and that is my cross to bear. This series is following a college-age girl who is on vacation in New Orleans during Mardi Gras with one of her friends, and while they are on vacation, the zombie apocalypse happens. The series follows the main character as she tries to reunite with her family and keep her friends safe. Book number 4, can you guess? It's the 2nd book in the series. Still the college-age girl trying to find her family. I read it in a day. These books are short, and I think I gave it the same exact score as the first book. Book number 5, you'll never guess it. It's the 3rd and final book in the series. Read it in a day, gave it the same score. Book 6, Animal Farm by George Orwell. I read this book in a day. I do think that affected the score. I was reading it like in a rush. I can't remember why I was rushing, but I do think that affects the score. This is a story of barnyard animals overthrowing their abusive human farmer and taking over the farm to create a more fair society. I think it's a really cute story, and there's no underlying message. It's just a really cute story about farm animals. And I would highly recommend reading it. I did watch the cartoon movie. I think there's a live action, but I could be spreading misinformation. I don't know.
Hey, Editing Myth here. So I looked it up, and apparently there's like a billion different Animal Farm movies. I watched the 1954 cartoon iteration, which I would recommend if you don't want to read the book. I don't know anything about the other movies, so I cannot recommend them.
Book 7, The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. I took a long time to read this book. It's not a long book, and I didn't rate it. I don't know what happened. I used Storygraph because fuck Amazon and fuck Goodreads. This is a story about an invisible man. I bet you couldn't have guessed that. I kind of don't remember a lot of the story. I know like the beginning and the end, but like the middle, gone. Gone, I have no memory of it. So I'm probably gonna reread it simply because I can't recall most of the book. Book 8, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I remembered liking the movie when I was younger. I read it relatively quickly, and I had a good time reading it. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a sci-fi comedy, and honestly, I don't know how to describe it more than that without spoiling something. My favorite character, both in the movie and in the book, is the manically depressed robot. I love him. I read this book and then I watched the movie again, and I have to be honest, I wouldn't recommend that. I didn't realize, I couldn't remember a lot from the movie, but I hadn't realized that the movie was like a mashup of the books. I want to say that I wish that they made more than one movie, but they already had a series. They had a BBC series. I could be spreading misinformation once more, but I think Hulu's making a series for some reason. I feel like I saw that somewhere. I don't know if that's true. Book 9, The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I really like this book. It is a short story. It is like a horror thriller, possibly like a psychological thriller. I don't know, I'm just throwing words out there, about a woman who may or may not be going insane, and there is wallpaper involved. I would highly recommend it. It was really, really quick and really interesting. Book 10, Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I liked this book. I wasn't sure how I would feel about it because I think it's really popular on TikTok. I wouldn't know. I don't use TikTok. This is a book for freaky, horny weirdos. I would highly, highly, highly recommend reading the trigger warnings because there's some nasty fucking shit in this book. It is a dark romance between two serial killers. I don't know if I have anything else to say about it. Oh, evidence that I read the book. This is the evidence down here, but I did want to share with the class what it looked like if a lawnmower ate your iPhone. I don't know. I just wanted to share that because you don't see that every day. No, do you? Book 11, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. This is the second book in the series, and I didn't have as much fun, but that could be affected by the fact that there's less manically depressed robot. Book 12, The Hobbit, We're There and Back Again by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is my favorite book of all time. I have read it twice now. This is the second time I've read it. I don't know why I didn't give it a 5-star. I think it's because I've never given a book 5 stars. But now that I'm thinking about it, it probably deserves 5 stars. It is in my top 5 on Storygraph, or it's on my bookshelf. I don't know how many you can have up there. It's the only one I have up there. It is a fantasy adventure about a hobbit named Bilbo, and that's all I'm gonna tell you. I love this book. I will probably reread it again next September. Book 13, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the first book in the Lord of the Rings series. It takes place after the events of The Hobbit. Still a fantasy adventure. Still a really good book. Book 14, The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the second book in the Lord of the Rings series. Still a fantasy, still an adventure, still really good. Book 15, The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. I still had a really good time reading this book. It is the final book in the series. Probably reread the series again next September. Book 16. This is an interesting little book. I don't know how I got through it, to be really honest. And that book is Twilight. I read Twilight twice this year. I don't know how I did that. I read it while I was on a trip, and when I finished it, I went to go put it in my little story graph, and it was like, you read this book in April. And I said, you're lying. And then I went to my texts that you saw earlier, and I did in fact read Twilight in April of 2025, and then again in November. I don't know. And I just kept the same score because when I read it this time, I felt nothing. I had no opinion on it. It was the most neutral read I have ever experienced. Didn't bitch or complain once while reading it, which I think I deserve an award for. Book 17, New Moon by Stephenie Meyer. I gotta say, I had a good time reading New Moon, for the most part. For the most part, I had a good time reading it because, hey, guess what? The Cullens weren't in the book for that much. I think I described it as a bad, good, bad sandwich to my friend. And I think I also said that chapter 1 felt like a speed run to get me to dislike the Cullens. And it worked. It worked. I don't fucking like the Cullens. They annoy me. Why are they the way that they are? Why? Hello? Why? New Moon is my favorite movie, and the book New Moon will probably be my favorite book in the series. So this is the second book in the Twilight series. Bella is 18 now, and there is a falling out with Edward and a several-month depression spiral and a lot of incredibly sad things to read about, I think, because Bella is 18, and I remember being 18 and oh my god, does it fucking suck. I know that this is a romance saga, it's a romance series, whatever. I know that Bella has to end up with someone. I wish Bella would end up alone. I wish that Bella could experience being alone without her parents, without a partner. I wish she could grow up, but that will never happen. So New Moon is the last book of 2025. I don't plan on reading another book because I have a lot to do, but who knows? I didn't think I would finish New Moon before the end of the year, and I did. I do plan on reading Eclipse by Stephenie Meyer next, just so that I can get through the series. I do not have high hopes because the Cullens are in the rest of the books a lot. So those are the books that I read in 2025. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below your favorite book of the year. I might make a video on the worst movies I've watched this year because I did watch a lot of stinkers. So yeah, let me know if you want to watch that video.